Hello, you guys, and thank y'all for tuning in to this week's episode of the Journey Podcast, where I am your host, Kiara. It's always so exciting to see you guys. Happy Thursday. I hope that this week has been amazing for you all. That you've been intentional with with what you've been allowing to have your ear, to influence your thoughts, your feelings, and so forth. And because that's what we talked about last week. For those that did not know, last week's episode was who or what has your ear. And so I hope that you guys were intentional with what you allowed in your ear gates, in your presence. I know that I myself have been extremely intentional with all those things. And I just wanted to make sure that the things that were influencing me were healthy. And that's all. Um, Today we are going to be talking about how we overplay our part. Well, and y'all know this is not a gossip session. This is definitely just I'm gonna talk about me as an individual and how what that looks like for me overplaying my part. Because I do tend to do that a lot in a lot of things. Um, and so sometimes I will stay somewhere for so long because I love to help. My heart is good, my heart is pure, and I always want to see like um how can I be effective to the company, the relationship, or whatever the case may be. And so I find myself staying in some roles for a lot longer than God called me to, for real. I call myself being consistent when everything and everyone else around me are changing, whether that's changing for the better, changing for the worse, when really um, it's about adjusting. And so adjusting and also knowing when to pull out, when to step back and say, hey, you know what? I feel like I have um, my time is up. And I have overstayed my welcome per usual because I do that. I overstay my welcome. Sometimes I can't read the room, y'all, which I'm really good with discernment. But sometimes I'm just like, okay, hold on. Are we like what are we doing? And sometimes I would rather somebody just tell me, hey, this is not what we're doing anymore, or hey, this is not gonna work for me anymore, or whatever the case may be. Um, or hey, this is how I would like to do things moving forward. I like people that communicate a lot of, and when I find myself dealing with people that are incapable of communicating effectively, where okay, I won't keep asking you to do something that you don't want to do. Like that's not what we're doing anymore. Just say that, just all you gotta do is I'm not gonna I promise I'm not gonna do anything. um and so I think the fact that I overplay my part, in the past, me overplaying my part has caused me to be angry, frustrated, um, and yeah. And so it's like when I overplay my part and you don't just communicate, hey, like you can calm down now. Or that's not there's no need in you doing that. This is what I would rather do instead, or whatever the case may be. And so instead of people just being capable of doing that, it's just like I that would make me angry. So instead of learning how to navigate my feelings after overplaying my part, because me as an individual, I show up so intense. Um so intense for my friends, so intense for my family. In a relationship, I show up intense. I show up like, what's up? What you need? What you like? What can I do? How can I help you? How can we grow together? How can we like like let's say this. Okay. All right. So I started a job a couple of years ago, started a job, and my focus in starting the job was to make sure that my family had insurance, um and I had money for groceries. Okay. Oh, and I can pay like the internet bill or whatever. So that was my main focus. And the minute they started talking about like a career and how you can grow here or whatever the case may be. I got so intrigued that my main focus was the least of my worries. So I was like, well, while I do what I'm focused on doing, I can also do more. But really, that was not my assignment. And so here I was. The assignment was what it was, but I myself getting emotionally aroused by the opportunities, because I get aroused by opportunity. Like, oh, hold on now, you mean tell me that I can do this and I can do that and I can do that? Ooh, hold on now. And so here I was. At that point, I was trying to move up with the company, and I wanted to be more in the company to help the company and myself as an individual. And like, oh, and I was making excuses for it to align with the assignment that I originally was on. And instead of it instead of it aligning, because I was trying to force an alignment that was not there, it was not even a thing, it just caused frustration. Me just putting more on my plate than God intended for me to have, because we tend to do that, y'all. And we have to notice when we're doing that. Hey, and sometimes you got to get yourself together. Hey, that's not what I told you to do. That's God looking at me like, girl, I did not tell you to do that. Now you are making the assignment much longer than it was supposed to be, because you don't listen. God be talking to me like that. He be like, girl, if you don't get your behind off, stop signing up for stuff. You just signing up for more stuff. No. And now you're feeling and now you feel some type of way, because here you are knowing that you're qualified, knowing that you know. And so here I was overplaying my part in it, a part that I wasn't even supposed to be playing. Now I'm doing the most. How can I be an asset to the company? I don't want to be. You weren't supposed to be an asset. You were supposed to use this as a stepping stone. You weren't supposed to get stuck here. You weren't supposed to stay here. And so a lot of times we stay places that we're not supposed to be for that long, and then we wonder why we're frustrated, and then we wonder why, oh, I hate this job. This job getting on my nerve. These people getting on my nerve. You weren't even supposed to do all of that. And don't get me wrong, sometimes you are supposed to, you are supposed to experience different opportunities. However, those opportunities are not supposed to be lasting opportunities. They're not supposed to be forever opportunities. You weren't supposed to be here forever. Um, that was just for you to get that experience, get that exposure, and that was it. That was it. And so you don't have to be frustrated here. And so, excuse me, I found myself um taking a demotion, um being demoted from a position that originally I was excited about. I really loved the idea of that role with the company. I was really excited about just being a part of that, the onboarding and all that. I was so excited about that. And I was passionate about um the encounters that I would have with people, just to like to be that first step, and just like, hey y'all, like just getting people acclimated with processes and things like that. And so that's something I like. Y'all know I like helping people. I want to, how can I help you? I'm always like that. And so I think that um I stayed in that role for so long that I just that I started to become frustrated. I started to become unhappy. Um I only worked 3 days out of the week. And those 3 days were feeling like 7 days. Those 3 days were feeling like a 9 to 5, and it was just like a 9 to 5 Monday through Saturday. And so while I I prayed before I decided to step down. I prayed and I prayed and I prayed about it for days, and I asked God, just you know show me what I need to see. Let me like I need to know that this is what I need to do, because I was feeling in my heart. I was like, I don't want to do this anymore, because I the passion had left, you know. And I still love helping people, but the passion to help people in that role was no longer there. And so encounters um encounters that I was having were starting to frustrate me, and just was like, and so I prayed about it, and God said, yeah, that's what you're supposed to do. And so, um, I spoke with the, I did whatever the protocol was so that I could step down, and and just in the day that I experienced it, because Tuesday was my last day of the week, and so just in that day, I felt like a weight was lifted off my shoulder, because I'm back in alignment. And so y'all, so often we overplay our part, um and and we stay for longer than we should. And like I said, this is not just for careers, it's also for relationships as well. As for friends, it's for family members, um it's for relationships for real, like when you're romantic relationship. So sometimes you're not being rejected, you simply just reached your limit. You reached the end of the assignment, and it's just like it's an expiration date, like milk expires. After expiration date, you don't want to keep drinking it just because it's there. Oh man, it's still milk here. The milk is still here. It's gonna still be there until you get rid until you get rid of it. That milk's assignment is over. Let it go. Turn it loose. And so I think God sometimes God got to get up in my face, and he got to allow things and people to hurt my feelings so that I can release them. And so it just has to happen. He has to for me, he has to allow somebody to lie on me, twist the truth, or make me feel small, or make me feel like, hold on now, don't do that. It could, and whole time he like, girl, if you don't get your raggedy tail off the get up, turn it loose no. Sometimes he got it. Sometimes he has to do that to me, which it shouldn't take all that. It should just take, hey, you know what? You just should have stuck to the. I told you what you were supposed to be doing here, and it's okay. Everybody's not going to be your assignment. Just because you're healed and you can bond with someone over whatever their hurt is, that does not mean that they're your assignment. Just because you've been there before, just because you've experienced that, just because you and I both have daddy issues. We both have daddy issues, and now we're bonding over our trauma. So we're trauma bonding, and or we've both been hurt in relationships, and so, oh girl, somebody did that to you. Oh, he did that to me too. Oh, now we both was sliding down a wall. Girl, you was sliding down a wall too. Yes, girl, I was sliding down the wall. We both sliding down the wall. Ah. That does not make them your assignment. That does not make them your friend. That does not mean, and so you can share with them, hey, this was my process. This is how I got through this. That does not mean we got to hang out every day, or we got to, because now you're noticing that this person, y'all do have the same trauma, but this person also is not a good friend. And so here you are, you've created a friendship with these people that you've been friends with for now years, but y'all became friends because y'all had the same trauma. Or sometimes it's people dealing with the same person. Girl, he did that to you, he did that to me too. Ooh, girl, I can't stand him. Let's go and stalk his new girlfriend social media, or let's go stalk her new boyfriend social media. Let's go do that. Like, what are we doing that for? You're trying to move forward. Now you're not on the same level as these people. And so here you are, y'all bonded over something, and they on a whole nother like flow. You're not even on that. Like, you've never been the type to do that. That's just not your thing. That's not your vibe. That's not your bag. You just don't do that. Like, you just never been like that. And so now here you are, you hanging out with this new person because y'all trauma bonded, and now you're friends for years and years, and you've adopted some ways about yourself that were not even you, and you just something that you just and so learn when to remove yourself. um Sometimes we're absolutely supposed to be in roles, but sometimes those roles are just temporary. They're not, but we adopt them as our permanent identity, and now this is who we are, and this is what we want to be. And when I say people are not, I don't want to say that some people are not your assignment. That's not what I'm saying. But like I said, we can turn a temporary assignment into our permanent identity. You are supposed to help people. You were supposed to love this person. You were supposed to build that thing. You were supposed to work at that place, in that role, in that position. You were supposed to carry that responsibility, whatever the responsibility was. You're supposed to be that version of yourself, but you are also supposed to be able to identify when to leave, when to take that next step, when that part, when that version of you is no longer needed, when that version of you can't go where you're growing, when those people that you've been so loyal and faithful to, when their time has expired. It's okay. And so sometimes I myself I can feel the expiration. You know how you smell the milk and you be like, ooh, that milk stink. You make a little face like, you and it's not like, oh, I'm gonna go, let me go smell that milk so I can make a face if it stink. you make you make the face because it's not something that you thought about doing. So it's like you feel that the relationship has expired. You feel that the position is no longer like a position that you're supposed to be in. You can feel it. And so instead of us pulling back, we will try to force something to work. It's like putting a key in a keyhole. I know that this ain't the key for that, and I'm just trying to stick it in there and unlock the door anyway. Like, it's not gonna work. It's not gonna work. And so here God is now allowing it to break your heart. It hurts your feelings, and sometimes we need that heartbreak. We need our feelings hurt, but it shouldn't take all of that. Like, and I'll get upset with myself, and I'll be like, why I had to go through all of that? And I knew you be no. That gets on my nerve when you be knowing. Ooh, you already felt it. Like, you felt like, you know what? I'm supposed to be here, or I'm not supposed to be doing this. Is not even what I'm. This ain't even right. When you know it, and God keeps allowing things to happen to show you, like, hey, this is who they are. This is what this is. This is gonna stress you out. This is not what you're supposed to do, and that's why you're stressed out. And so here you are knowing in your heart, and sometimes you have to listen to your heart. Let your heart influence you to do whatever is necessary, to do what God is telling you to do. It's sometimes I'm like, listen, my head is hard. My head is hard. my head is hard, and I know. And what's so crazy? We want to do what God is telling us to do on our time, and then we get mad when His time is longer than the time we were like. What if God? What if? And I'm not saying that God is like this, but what if God was like, just like, what if God is like, I'm gonna move how you move for me how you want me to move for you. Do for me what you want me, like, show me that you even deserve what I'm about to do in your life. Show me that you can even listen. You're not even disciplined. You lack discipline in every area, and then you lack financial discipline. You want to be rich, but here you are, and you wonder why you're stuck. And so another thing, we overplay our part with people that are stuck. So here we are, we're staying around these people that don't want. I want to grow. Here we are staying around these people that have no desire to grow, or have no desire to even like to even do the work. Like they are fine. They are content with their problems. They are content with all the issues. They are content with those things, and that's why they are not doing anything to grow. They're not doing the research. They're not looking into themselves. They're not analyzing their heart. They don't know what they're passionate about. They don't know anything. They don't know nothing about themselves. They don't know, like, they just, and they have no desire to be informed. And so here you are, you're like, yeah, let's grow, let's grow, let's grow. And so you've planted yourself in soil. You've planted yourself in soil that has no intentions on growing anything. So here you are now, you just like you're hanging out with those people that you trauma bonded with all these years and years ago. Um, and now y'all are only friends out of the fact that, well, we've been friends. Like, we've been friends all along. Why stop? But when you notice that their drive isn't meeting yours, when you notice that the people that you are connected to, when you realize that the people that you're connected to um don't want anything, or they don't want to change, or they are changing, but it's not in the same, the changes that they're making aren't in alignment with the ones that you're making. You have to learn when to take a step back, when to say, you know what, I'm gonna pass, when to say, you know what, this is not this role is not gonna this role doesn't suit my needs anymore. While it did for a moment, while it did at that time, now, because I've grown in the way that I've grown, now it just I feel like it's served its purpose. I've learned what I needed to learn from this. I'm grateful for the experience, but my time has expired. And so overplaying your part happens when you've already done what you're supposed to do, but you keep trying to make yourself necessary. And I think a lot of times in relationships, it's the need to feel valued. For me, I can say I like to feel valued. I like to feel needed. I like to feel like someone cares, or, you know. And so when people show you uh, now, like, okay, your value is depreciating because I done got what I need from you. So now I'm gonna treat you any kind of way. Now I'm gonna talk to you any kind of way. Um, and so forth and so on. Like, at first the relationship was all great. Oh my god, oh, I love you so much. You're so great. You treat me so well. Yeah, because you bring great things to the table. You're so amazing. You have provided me with all the things. You're great at everything that you do. I love just having access to you. I love having access to you, and so we're gonna go ahead and continue this just so that I have that access. But then here you are with the way that the relationship has been. It's like they have gotten so content and complacent with the fact that you're there. You're not going anywhere because I make you feel needed sometimes, you know? I make you feel needed sometimes. I make you feel needed just enough for you to overlook the disrespect, for you to overlook the fact that I don't treat you like a main character, or I treat you like, you know, just I don't treat you the way that I used to consistently, because I treated you that way so that I could get you where I wanted you, and now here you are, you locked in. If we locked in, ain't no switching up. Yeah. And so now they're making you feel like, oh, I would feel bad. This person needs me. Like, I would feel bad if I left. I can't leave them, even though they're disrespectful, rude, and they're nasty with me. And sometimes they don't talk to me the way I want to be talked to. Um, and so here you are, in friendships. What that looks like is, you overplaying your part. So you become the fixer, you become the mediator, you become the dependable one. The person who always reaches out, and the person that just keeping the friendship alive for real. Or at work, the employee carrying the responsibilities that aren't theirs. The person trying to save a relationship by themselves. The one holding the family together. When everyone clearly is applying zero to, I mean, just very little effort to, when everybody's showing you like, girl, we ain't got time for that. And here you are, you running yourself raggedy to try to keep the family together after somebody passed away. And when people don't, like, just don't overplay your part. You done try to put the family reunion together. You done try to get everybody together for grandma's name's sake, and it's just not working. It's just not working. Now if you've created a family of your own, focus on that. Focus on now you are the the matriarch or the patriarch of that family that you've created. And so here you can instill in what comes from you. You can't, what you come from, you can't really make it do anything for real, but you are responsible for what comes from you, and you can instill in them those those qualities of togetherness and things like that. So now you have to pull back from whatever your main focus was, and focus on the things that you do have control of. Know when to pull back, know when to pull out, know when to take a step back and say, hey, you know what? I'm done begging for this to be for it to be what I was passionate about. Like I said, the role that I was in, I was so like I was holding on to the initial passion, which over time, because things had changed so much, so many other people were like the process. I mean, everything was just changing consistently, and because things had changed so much, the opportunity wasn't what it was at the beginning, and that's fine. Things change. And so maybe maybe all I needed was the initial opportunity and what it was for that time, and I just needed to know when to pull out, when to take a step back. That way the frustration and the fatigue in the position didn't like try to consume me, And so here I was showing up every day that I was scheduled to show up, and I was complaining. I was like, oh my God, this is getting on my nerve. They are getting on my nerve. This is getting on my nerve. That's getting on my nerve. And I was complaining, but I wasn't doing anything about it, which was crazy because I do not like hearing complaining. If you're not going to do nothing about it, if you're not going to do nothing to fix it, shut up. And that's for me. Like I'm not even saying that for people, because I get it, sometimes we're going to complain, but if we're not going to do anything about what we're complaining about, what are we talking about? Why are we even talking about it? That's what you want. That, like, you know what, I had to realize that sometimes people are happy with their problems. And I was happy with that problem. I was happy with being overwhelmed. I was happy with being in a role that I've outgrown. And I was volunteering. I was volunteering to, because nobody was forcing me to stay in that role. Like, nobody or nothing was forcing me to be in that role. And so outside of being in that role, um, I was starting to forget who I was. Like, girl, what? And I was, and in the role altogether, just as an employee with the company, I was forgetting who I was. I was forgetting who I like, because I wanted to be a part of the company, because I was exposed to the opportunities. I was informed about the opportunities and so forth and so on. So here I was applying for things that I knew I was qualified for, but because that was not my calling, that was not my assignment, that wasn't what I was there for, that's not why I applied. the rejection. The rejection is not always like to knock you down. Sometimes it's just to redirect you, to refocus you. Hey, get back on task. That's not what I told you. It's God. God be talking to me, bro, because I be needing that. I need my parent to be firm. Get get out of that. Move. Move. Get from over there. You over there. Why you? You know what? And so, um, it was rejection after rejection after rejection. And it was like, okay, what? Like, hold on. Do these people not know who I am? And so here I am saying that, thinking that, and feeling that, and uh, God responded to me. He said, "No, they don't." If I allowed everybody to know who you are, and this was good. If God said to me, if I allow everybody to know who it is that you are, I need some people to mishandle you so that you can know what so you can get back on focus because you're so kind and you're so caring and you're so you do too much. If everyone that you encountered knew who you were, you'd be drained, you'd be overwhelmed, you'd be taken advantage of. Um, if everyone handled you the way that they like precious cargo, if everyone handled you as if everyone knew who you were, what you were, what you were being called to do, if everybody that has encountered you, as everybody that has even once been connected to you knew who you were all along, then they would the time would have never there would have never been an expiration date. And so everyone would have used you. Everyone would have tried to, like, but you needed these processes, you needed these encounters to grow you, to help you. It was so good. It was so good, y'all. And so here I was being sassy, like, God, I don't know who these people playing with, but do they know who I am? And he was like, no, they don't. And so I said this to my friend. I feel like unseen. I feel like I'm like nobody sees me, like, no, and because I'm used to, like, yeah, hold on now, I know, listen, I know I'm that, you know, the the popping be popping, okay, like, and I had someone tell me, like, you're just you're so pleasant, like, you're just so, like, you're so deserving, and it's like I know that. I know, and that was my response to them. I was grateful, and I said thank you. I appreciate that. That meant so much. That meant so much to me, to feel like someone sees me, someone feels my spirit, with just an encounter. And it was literally like a second long, like a few seconds, um, and so just talking to God and him telling me, I was like, what? No, it's crazy, God. I'm like, do they know who I am? Like, do they know? They know I'm one of them. They knew I'm one of them. They know you one of them ones. They know. That's the thing. And the people that see you, the people that know, they know. And they're gonna value you out the gate. It's not gonna be any back and forth with it. It's not gonna be like a trial where you have to prove yourself. They know. They know who you are. They just the encounter with you, the initial encounter with you was all they needed. And it's I know. And so you don't have to overplay your part because you're consistently gonna feel valued in that role with them, with that career, with that opportunity, with that business, um, with whatever it is. You're not gonna feel like, oh, I'm doing too much. Like you're not gonna feel like that. And so, um, overstaying, like, so like we overstay our welcome with people, and we have to know when the expiration date is. And I know overstay your welcome sound like, girl, you need to go home. It sounds harsh. It sounds so harsh. But like I said, you can overstay at a job, you can overstay a friendship, a relationship, a mindset, a version of yourself, a business partnership, or even a dream. Maybe when you were a certain age, you dreamed of XYZ, and as you've grown and you've developed, maybe that dream is not your calling. Maybe maybe you just that's not it anymore. And so that's why it's so important for us to have our own relationship with God. I think I said in an episode previously where um I I was living um through my grandmother's relationship with God. They had such an amazing relationship with God. I was just like, wow, like that's so great. God does all those things for you. And it was like, well, my grandma said God said, my grandma said God said, and I would say that, like, do you know what God said for yourself, or you just believe what somebody said? That is hearsay. You don't know. You don't know. You just these people just telling you something, and you know your grandma always saying something good. Um, well, God did this. You know, God, everything good is God, and everything bad is the devil. That is not. You know what? It wasn't until I had a relationship with God myself that I realized that that is not true. And so, because sometimes God has to allow, like I said, God had to allow me to have my heart broken in some relationships for me to know that my time here is up. You know, and so and it wasn't like, oh God, yeah, I want your heart to be broken. It was more so on a level that I know that you're not gonna leave yourself. I know that you're not going to smell this milk and get that you just gonna make some more cereal. And you are going to disregard the fact that the milk tastes a little spoiled. And you know what? I got milk, so it's great. It's gonna still work. I got milk, I got cereal, and I'm good to go. This milk is expired, boo. Stop eating that. Put that down. Turn it loose. I'm having so much I'm having so much fun. But yeah, it's just like, come on, y'all. We gotta know when we're overplaying our part and we're overstaying our welcome. Um Sometimes you know it's time. The grace isn't there anymore. You're forcing conversations, you're constantly frustrated, you're shrinking yourself into it. You're shrinking yourself to fit into it. Whereas like, like I'm bigger than this. I'm better than this. This isn't my vibe. This is my speed. This is not what I do. And so, you're doing all of the maintaining where you're trying to make it make sense constantly, not only to yourselves, but to others in this, whatever. You're trying to make it make sense. Why am I still here? Okay, if you hate your job, why are you still here? Okay, if you don't love me, why are you still here? Well, you can love somebody if you're not in love with me, then why are you still here? Um, Sometimes we're staying because of history. We've been on the job 5, 10 years. We've been in the relationship 5 or 10 years. We've thought this way all our lives. That overstaying the mindset, y'all. That that note 8 down, okay? Because a lot of people just be like, well, that's just how I am. You knew I was like this. This is just how I am. Okay, does you think that's still cool? You were like that all your life? Okay. You were like that when you were since you were a little girl, since you were a little boy, you've been like that? Mhm. You don't think it's time? Do you think that that has been serving you well? Like, what? You're saying that like I've always been like this and it's not working for you. So, you think you need to get from like that? It's probably that's probably wise for you to get from like that. And so we gotta stop trying to resurrect and justify things that have completed their purpose. Maybe we've been guarded because we need it to be like that in the season of our lives. That does not mean that needs to be our permanent identity. Someone that's just guarded. You need to be able to identify when you encounter people that you don't have to have your guard up with, because they feel about protecting you and your heart the same way you feel, if not even higher. Like, hey, we ain't letting nothing and nobody hurt you. Hold on now. Ain't no weapon formed against you gonna prosper, because God sent me to make sure. He sent me to make sure that these things don't prosper. He sent me to keep you focused. He keep, like, you don't have to guard yourself from me, because I am on your side. I'm on your team. I value your growth at the same level, if not higher, than as you, you know? And so, because sometimes that's just how I am, and that's just how I've always been. It can run off people that are meant to be there, that God actually sends and intends to be a part of your life, even if it's for a season, but sometimes even if it's permanent. Like, I want this person or to be a part of your life. This is it for you. This is them. And so you have to know when you're encountering that person, so that you can adjust, and so that you can stop overplaying, overstaying in that mindset, and over maintaining that mindset, and over trying to justify and make that mindset make sense. Well, people have hurt me. Okay, well, I didn't do anything to you, so people have made me feel. Well, I didn't make you feel like that, so I'm not making you feel like that. I'm showing you that that's not. You don't have to. You don't have to do all that. You don't have to. Um and so, yeah, just know that not everything needs to be revived. When you get that feeling of you're overwhelmed, you're starting to feel some type of way about whatever the relationship. We've been together forever. The friendship used to be so good. I worked here for years. I put so much into this. That be the one. I put so much into this. In relationships, y'all, we be in relationships with people that they waited until you got tired to do better. And so now here you all burnt out in a relationship. Burnt out in a relationship. However, they started changing after the burnout. So you done got burnt out, and now they want to be a better partner. They want to be a better girl. They want to be a better guy, whatever the case may be, whoever you're dating. They just want to be better. Excuse me. And you're only staying not because you're still in love with that person, but because you don't want someone else to experience, and because you put so much into this. Oh, I did so much work, I cannot let somebody else have this. Oh my god, no, they're gonna get him, they're gonna get her. Oh my god, they can't have her. I've been here too long, and I did all this work, and I helped them be better, and I helped them see who God called them to be, but I'm not in love with them anymore. And so here you are staying just because you don't want somebody else to get. No, you got to know when to pull back, because now here you are, you're being at not only a disservice to yourself, but to them as well. Um, some relationships are not supposed to be forever. We get into them because that is the initial step into our healing process. The healed version of us probably isn't even equally yoked, or even close to being equally yoked with who they are. What if they don't grow? What if they just stay the same, and your growth surpasses their ability to maintain you, to maintain a healthy and positive relationship? Because here they are, they feeling like, oh, I made you who you are. And you're like, why do you feel like that? Like, this is who I was all along. You don't get me wrong, this encounter has helped me to realize and grow and or whatever, but don't act like you shaped me. Well, you ain't big G. Nah, hold on now. And so the question always isn't did this ever serve me, but the question to ask is, does this still belong in the life that I'm becoming? Does this still serve? Does this version of me, or does this thing or this place, is this necessary in who I'm becoming? Because gratitude for a season doesn't require permanent residence. You don't have to stay there because you put so much into it, or you've been here for forever or whatever. You don't have to stay there because of that. And so that loyalty to people and places and things can sometimes become self-abandonment. So now here we are, we're not doing all the things that we're being called to do, because we feel like, well, I want to be loyal to this situation. I want to be loyal to this job. I want to be loyal to this person. However, this person, this place, this thing, this is causing me a sense of consistent overwhelmingness. It's causing heartache, it's causing pain. Um, but I want to be loyal to that. So I'm going to abandon my needs, my feelings, my thoughts, um, my calling, my assignment. Ooh, hold up. Now we getting in there. We okay. I'm gonna abandon all those things because I want to be loyal, and I'm big on loyalty, very big on loyalty. I'm very big on um being a team player, taking one for the team. I'm taking one for the team, y'all. We gotta take one for the team. And yeah, we just gotta know when the difference between being loyal and refusing to accept reality. The reality is this no longer serves a purpose in my life. This has already run its course. This is not who I am. I am not this is like, I'm bigger than this. And while this was a stepping stone for me, I'm grateful for the opportunity. I'm grateful for the encounters. I'm thankful for the knowledge that um that I've I've gained, or and so forth and so on. We have to learn when to take a step back, and also to know you can love people and leave. You can appreciate a place and move on. You can honor what something taught you without continuing to participate in it. That friendship that has expired, hey, you know what? I'm grateful for our time of closeness. And that doesn't mean you don't necessarily be there. You don't have to be their friend anymore. Y'all can still, hey, hey, how you doing? But the dynamics don't have to always be what they are. Sometimes that person that's just always gossiping, that's always just always out of alignment with what you are working towards, um you don't have to talk to them every day like how you used to. You don't have to hang out with them every time they call and say, hey, let's hang out. You don't have to do that, um and I don't want to say that you don't have to say, you don't, because you want, sometimes people don't get the picture and they're like, oh, you're acting funny. Well, no, I'm acting funny. I'm not acting funny. I have so much other things that I'm working on, and this is where I'm growing to. And people that love you and care about you, they will understand. They will understand. And people that don't understand, they not even supposed to be here. Okay, you know what? We went from here and there to not at all. It's cool. It's cool. I'm good. Um and so I'm realizing maybe I'm not struggling to let go of things, people, and places. Maybe I was struggling to let go of the version of me that existed with them or in that. And so yeah, I'm learning these things, and I'm proud of myself um for being uncomfortable, doing things that I just didn't think that I could do. Um and yeah. And so it's just like, I just imagine your life like a play. Like, not everybody is supposed to be in every scene. Sometimes you see people at the beginning of a movie and then they're not there anymore. At the end, they're not there. Some people introduce you to something. Some people teach you something. Some people walk beside you for years. Some people are only there long enough to push the story forward just a little bit, and then they're not there anymore. And that is okay. That is okay. Um it's okay to move into this next chapter without all the things and all the people that were there in the previous chapter. All of that is okay, and you don't have to force yourself. You don't have to force other people, other things into your next scene. Um, so we have to learn. I have to learn to say, I played my part. I learned what I needed to learn. I gave what I was supposed to give, and now I'm allowed to go. I'm allowed to leave. Give yourself permission to leave, to let go, to move forward, to take a step back, to take a step down, to demote yourself. You gotta. It's time for you to. It's time to get demoted. um, what I wanted to leave you guys with a question because at this point we getting deep, y'all. We getting so deep. The question that I wanted to leave you guys with, where in your life are you still showing up simply because you've always shown up, because you're just used to being here, but you know in your heart, um, that if you removed history, guilt, obligation, and fear, would you still choose to be there? Would you choose to, um, would you choose to stay if you didn't feel like you were obligated to be there because you've been there for so long? Or like you felt needed, or you felt like you were letting the team down, or you were letting um, the kids down, or, because sometimes we stay in relationships for the kids. Hold on now. Sometimes we stay too long because, oh, we're going to wait for the kids to grow up. Oh, we're going to wait for everybody to turn 18. Oh, now you sitting there miserable for years and years and years. We ain't going to get into that. We're not going to get into that. I'm not going to get in y'all business because I told you I was talking about myself. Um, and so, yeah. And I also want to just let you guys know you don't have to wait until something becomes toxic to leave it. You don't have to wait until the job is just overly frustrating, overwhelming. You go home, you hate your job so much that you go home and you have the nastiest attitude with family. And you don't have to wait until it becomes toxic to leave it. Sometimes completion is enough. Sometimes it's that feeling in your heart is enough. And so this in this, I want us to work on discernment, and our ability to identify expiration dates. You know how we can look on the milk and it's a lot of those little, it's more than one of those little, like, those little printed things on there, those printed fonts in the same format that you see the expiration date. Learn when to identify the expiration date and from the ID number on the milk. So we got to learn how to identify expiration dates, expiration times, those cues, those red flags, and we need to learn how to identify green flags too. That way, when we identify those green flags, hey, this is a safe space. I don't have to. I don't have to be in defense mode anymore. I don't have to, I don't have to be the strongest one in the room. I don't have to be the one with my chest out. I don't have to come in here and off the bat uh be aggressive because these people, this room is safe. And so let's learn how to identify those things. And just identify when people mean well. That way we can go ahead and do away with mindsets that have expired and ways about ourselves that have expired. And so I'm gonna go ahead and I'm gonna leave you guys with that. Happy Thursday once again to you guys. I love you guys with my whole heart. I cannot wait until next week Thursday to see you guys again because I love you guys so much. And yeah, have a great and safe weekend. I pray that you get to do all the things that you planned on doing. And yeah, that's it. We're out. Later.